Yeah, that's all I got. I ain't never played that before. Hello and welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage Sunday Live Super Boring Sunday Special. It's in there somewhere. That's fine. How's everybody doing? I'm not that late. I don't know why you guys are all overachievers. Amy got the first comment trophy. Donnie got second. What's for dinner? Don't know. Chinese leftovers were for lunch like 15, 20 minutes ago. And my sister's also early because of boredom. Great. I ruined the chat before it ever started. But don't worry, because Avon is here to fix it. Has anyone else started the drinking game early? No, but that's interesting. Denberg just messaged me and said, waiting patiently. But it's on. We're live. It's happening. Where are you, Dan? I don't know. It's kind of hot. I'm taking my boots off. Anyway, boosh the like button. Our hero Lovejoy has arrived. No need to thank him. Okay. And Bob's here as well. What up to the other DDG? How's it going? Nick Durkitz is here and did indeed start the drinking game early. He's 2 beers in. Nice. Wow, my feet stink. Be thankful smell-o-vision doesn't exist yet. Ross is waiting. Sorry. Good stuff. Lovejoy says, Donnie thanked me. No one else needs to now. It's been covered. My sister's still not used to the naked face. No one is. 43 of you here with me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you're new here, drop a comment. Questions, constructive criticism, that sort of thing is always welcome around here. Brian sent me something silly, but I don't have time to watch it. Peter Griffin is here again and says, yo, that wasn't a good Peter Griffin. I apologize for that. And I did my best on the Imperial March, but yeah. Ooh, I have a bass. Actually, I was going to show this off. It's not plugged in, though. I just got this. A rip-off violin bass made by the cheapest manufacturer of musical instruments ever. But I'm going to name it Paul McCartney, the leader of the Beatles. No, that's not it. Where does it go? Nope, it's... What? It doesn't matter. Anyway. Actually, usually play bass now. A whole lot more of that than the guitar. Dan Tupper is here. Howdy, Dan. We were just chatting earlier. Something about destroying equipment being qualified as a combat loss. 12 Bravo's with us and says, wakey bakey. In some parts of the world, it's probably time for that. Mostly Mopar is with us. Good evening, Mostly Mopar. I need a zoom function for my screen so I don't have to do this. That is, well, it appears to be a Tunnel Ram Big Blocks. That's exciting. Oh, I should have named it the Better Mood Jamie Special. No, you know what? I got all that off my chest last Sunday, and from that moment on, everything was good. It's been a great week. Missed a couple deadlines, made a couple deadlines, you know, normal stuff. I didn't adjust the lighting. Yeah, the hat just ruins everything. Admire my birthday present from my wife. Savannah Bananas hat. They play banana ball. Oh, also, if no one noticed, I'm back in my studio. I cleaned and organized it today. I picked up like a ball of cat hair about this big. And yeah, it's a nice place to be again. So it's kind of cool. Oh, Dan says howdy. Howdy, Dan. Dan Berg, how you doing there? All is pretty well over here. And Lovejoy sent me a video, so we'll put it on the big screen. I like where this is going. Is the parking brake just on? I like it. Rooster's here and says it's howdy doody time. What's happening, Rooster? I think we talked once this week. Something happened. Anyway, free van. Oh yeah, anyway, in my community post that some of you actually saw because it was like 2 hours early today because I was out here cleaning and thinking about stuff. I didn't think about covering the window. That's my bad. Strange zany characters will probably appear there eventually. Anyway, I mentioned in the community post, I recorded a history video. The first one is the story of the A-body, and that'll be coming to the channel probably in the next couple weeks. I've been thinking about doing that for a long time because as someone that owns like professional recording equipment and has a studio, it seems really silly that every single thing I've put on YouTube was recorded on an iPhone mic. So it's going to be a little different format. We'll see if people like it. I mean, it's very similar to what I do already, which is storytelling, but it's longer, a little more detailed, still not fully detailed. But anyway, that's coming. We'll see if people like it. If they do, I'll do some more of them. What the heck? Why are you messaging me here, Dan? Nice. Brian McKernan is here and says, I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't have the patience. Hold on. You're welcome. It's all happening. Yeah, YouTube delays it a little bit. Oh, Ross was buffering. I hope you guys are seeing me. Seems like you are. Good, very good. I think everything's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. 60 of you out there, thank you very much for joining me here. This is the Dead Dodge Garage Super Boring Sunday Special, and I appreciate you all joining. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop them now, and I will read them probably. Oh, okay. Dan Berg is having technical issues, but he says, good evening, Rooster and the DDG family. Nice. I like it. David Biznett says, the grayish wire across from the orange wire on the fuse box on a 68B body, where does it feed from? Applying 12 volts to the orange feeds the dash lights. Yeah, the orange wire under the dash is the dash light circuit. Oh. The weird internet thing's popping up. So again, I hope you all can see me. Everything's fine. It's fine. Grayish wire across from the orange wire. Gray in the fuse box. Gray. The feed wire from the tack is gray, but that wouldn't be in the fuse box. Okay, that I'm not sure on that, but that might be the feed wire coming down from the headlight switch, and then the orange wire is the output to the lights. If it's across that fuse, that is a feed that comes from the headlight switch and then out to the lights. And that circuit is actually a sub-circuit of the running light fuse. So if your running light fuse is out and your outside parking lights, running lights aren't working, your dash lights will never work either. But yeah, the orange wire is the dash light circuit. Excuse me. If your running lights are working, that fuse is good and you still don't have dash lights, play, or 68B buddy, so it's this. Play with the roller, the fader for your dash lights. Just sit there and spin it back and forth, and hopefully they'll magically come back. The ones in my 68, they worked when I got it, but they were super dim, and I actually had to replace it. I'm still getting the weird, crappy internet thing. So again, hopefully y'all can see and hear me. David says running lights are working. Okay, yeah, so you're probably dealing with the dash dimmer then. I mean, it could be a wiring problem as well. And that dimmer could just be bad. But most likely that's what's going on. So try and just play with that roller and see if they come back. Donnie says, I love the Hofner bass. I'd never played one before. I paid $50 for that piece of crap, and I love it. I haven't even plugged it in yet, but I've been plunking around with it in the house, and it's really sweet. I can't believe the fret access. It's really nice. Rocket Tom is here, kind of. He's actually driving to California to get a Jeep, so he's just listening. A Jeep I was supposed to buy. Sorry about that. But I did turn him on to a stash of Mopars and parts, which he seemed relatively excited about. So that was pretty cool. Free van, free van. Somewhat Fast is here with us and says, Uncle Tony's shouting you out like crazy. He's obsessed, brah. Well, yeah, I dropped into his live. And, well, Dan, if you're in the live, you should be able to comment in the chat attached to it if you're watching the video. But other than that, Messenger's fine. Anyway, yeah, I actually dropped in Uncle Tony's live a little bit ago because I thought it was weird. Like I said, I was here in the studio recording a history episode about A-bodies, and I was doing a section on dusters, and then I saw he posted a video about dusters and duster twisters, and I thought that was incredible. So I hopped in his live, and I said, which one of us is psychic? And he said, me, and I can reveal to you here and now, he said he wants to do a live with me. How awesome is that? So I'm going to have my people call his people, by which I mean I'm going to email Kathy, and we'll see if that happens. Be amazing. 12 Bravo says, this channel and Pole Barn, #1 car channels. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Anytime anyone, that's high praise because there are a lot of YouTube car channels. So a compliment like that just gets me pretty excited. So thank you. I'm just here doing my best and being me, and some people like it, some people don't. But we'll just keep on doing it, I guess. Mostly Mopar says you are correct. Tunnel Ram 383 and a 66 Fury. Cool. Very cool. Nick Durkett says this room needs the DDG cat mascot artwork. Yeah, we probably have to go up there, but I think my wife would notice if I stole it. Henry 18 has a guitar like that bass. Cool. I've never, like I say, this is the first Hofner style violin bass I've ever actually gotten to play. And I've never seen a guitar one. That's crazy. Lovejoy says that wheel was locked up. I took the wheel off and hit it with a hammer and it freed up. Nice. Oh, awesome. Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab is in the house. Dr. Art, a member of the Uncle Tony's Expanded Universe. And he says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Art. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. He's got a crazy, is it a Turbo Windsor Interranger? It's not like an LS, is it? I don't remember. Whatever it is, it's impressive. If a sleeper is still a thing, that's it. Brent Forte wants to know, do you know Seven Nation Army? I'm gonna fight 'em off. Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. Yeah, with the guitar tuned properly, I can do the slide part too. but I don't have that handy currently. When I first started in music, it was all Nirvana, White Stripes, Led Zeppelin. Ah, don't do that. My empty coffee was holding it up in that position. Stay. Anyway, yeah, huge White Stripes fan. Hank Reardon says, dude with a van looked like an episode of Red Green. And remember, Lovejoy, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Oh, story time with Jamie. Epic. Well, honestly, I kind of think that's what the entire channel is. It's basically just story time with Jamie, but with cars, you know. Al Sear says, sad that I have to go back to work. Nayla, my German Shepherd, is going to be pissed after a week of Rocky Mountain road trip, river runs, and off-leash dog park. Dang it! I wouldn't want to go back to work either. We were supposed to go camping this weekend, but man, Southwest Washington, all of the camping is full. It's crazy. Man, the bad internet thing keeps showing up. Stay. Be good. Apparently, you can see and hear me, so that's fine. I think it's okay. I'm not going to worry. It's just weird. Anyway, that's unfortunate, Al. But, well, it was good while it lasted. Bob says, seems like we got an extra video this week. Personally, I really liked the Paisley Fury. Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was purchased as a parts car for a 71 Fury GT, which unfortunately is the superior car. So, yeah. Anywho, yeah, Donnie says everything's fine. So I think the computer's just demented, and we're not going to worry about that. Amateur hour over here. Can't even plug in a hole. Anyway, I have been doing 2 to 3 videos a week. When possible, I'll do 3. There was a time, I know I've mentioned this, when I did videos every single day, and I can't do that anymore. But Stage Zero Jason, who is here, I saw a comment from him somewhere. Oh, yeah. Said that I should just quit my job and do 3 videos a week. And I said, I'll show you. I'll just make 3 videos a week anyway. Or I'm saying that now. But yeah, anyway, pretty cool. JMR says, A-body. Yes, sir. Yep, I'm all about them. I am an A-body guy. I love the Chargers. I love a lot of things, but A-body is where I'm happy. Dan says, yes, the Red Green Show. Another gem from our Canadian friends. It's kind of weird I don't have a roll of duct tape right nearby. But anyway. I'm a fan. 12 Bravo says 5x5, but I don't know what that means. Music Tony says the SpaceX launch lagged YouTube. That's got to be what it is. David, he even told me how to say his last name properly, but I'm just going to butcher it again. Rademacher, something like that. The owner of my 66 Charger and our old Belvedere was here this week. He was on a work trip and stopped by here on his way home. Dave, of course, is a frequent enabler of mine. He just found me a step-side bed for the 64 Power Wagon. And that's why I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a bed. Dave's going to be here. Let's work on this truck. Let's figure it out. I know I've told you guys in previous lives, the poly engine, I got it turning like 30 degrees, but it wouldn't go any farther. Well, we figured it out. Broken ring on number 8, and the engine ran that way. That was a pre-existing condition. The bore looks okay. I'm going to hone it out anyway. Number 7 is also dragging really badly, so we unhooked that one. And with 7, 8, and 5, just for fun, I think 5 is fine, but with 7, 8, and 5 off the crank, it turns like butter. So I'm going to pull those pistons out, hone the holes, probably obviously fresh rings, and back together it goes. I'm doing it all in frame. I do not want to take the engine out. If I take the engine out, it's not going to go back in for a year. Don't ask me how I know that. So anyway, but yeah, Dave was here, and I got some footage of him helping. Everything leaking out of that engine ended up in Dave's face, basically. And he was wearing his Dead Dodge Garage shirt, which you can get at deaddodgegarage.com. He loves them. I love them. I am not kidding when I say they're really nice shirts. They really are. And they're quite affordable. In fact, you might want to run and buy them now because I really need to raise prices. But having said that, he was wearing one of these and it got destroyed. So, time to order shirts again. Busted Radio Garage is here with us again. How's it going there, Busted Radio Garage? What's new in your world? Lovejoy says, I got a really silly video dragging that van out of a backyard and loading it onto the trailer with a locked up rear wheel with a hand winch on a 98-degree day. I have loaded multiple vehicles with ratchet straps. One here, tighten this one, this one, reset. Not good. Stacy dropped by. Stacy is on vacation. Looks beautiful where he's at. Up in northern Alberta, where apparently they get the good American Pop-Tarts. Unlike in southern Alberta. Anyway, Stacy says, good evening, everyone. Just popping in for a quick hello while on vacation. Have a great night. You too, Stacy. Enjoy your trip. David said, very good on nailing the last name. Thank you. We'll check the roller, which was frozen up until lately. Okay, yeah. So the little coil in there might be not so good anymore. So you might maybe just go get one of those because it's very likely going to be your problem. But cool, you bet. Glad I got your name right. Pleased with that. Somewhat Fast says, I'm fixing to pick up a 74 Dart Sport with a 72 Demon clip. Awesome. Very cool. I don't really mind the late Dart nose. I like it on the Darts, but on the Dart Sport, the Demon's better. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's just better. That's what you want. And 71, ideally. Now, 72, you'll match your side marker, but you can run the 7071 grill. Pops right in there. The 71, of course, is the blacked out grill. Oh, hell yeah, Batman. Hell yeah. Moparman67 says, keep up the C-body material. Yes, sir. Will do. I'm going to get one of my own. Eventually, probably a 68 Fury, although I really, really like the 70 Sport Fury. But yeah, they are everywhere at Rocket. Since I started there, I've been planning to do videos on them because there's just so much source material. But again, I'm an A-body guy, and I never really feel comfortable talking about them. So I've been trying to learn and pick little things up, get into the nuts and bolts of them and become familiar. And I'm getting there. There is a very, very special muscle car era C-body, which I actually showed kind of back in the back of Trev's shop in that video the other day. So I will be showing that, and we'll have a neat discussion about those. But yeah, I think in total right now at Rocket, there are 5 or 6 70 and 71 Sport Fury GTs. So pretty cool. Yeah, that was the comment. Stage Zero, Jason, I assume in response to me possibly going on a live with Uncle Tony in the near future. I'm just like so excited. I don't even know what to say. I had to tell Tom that as soon as that was said to me by Tony on his live. And Tom said, are you fangirling out right now? And I said, how did you know? But anyway, Jason says, that would be amazing. You make us proud. Dan found the chat. Very good. Hello, everyone. Dan Berg is here. Somewhat Fast also says it's not glitching, running fine. And as I say that, the little thingy on my screen, which you can't see, says, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Bob says, have not seen 1 second of lag on my end. Okay, cool. Like I say, I'm not going to worry about it. Lovejoy says that van, free van. God, I love free vans. The van was free from a viewer because it leaked oil faster than you can fill it. When I hooked the winch up, I realized the filter was loose. Put a new filter on it and some plug wires, and now it runs. Cool. Random factoid on those engines. You always hear about the oil filter gasket staying on the block, and you put the filter over it, and you end up with a double gasket on it. Those vans, those V6s in those vans, specifically for whatever reason, are the only engines I've ever seen do that. I've seen it probably 2 times they came in leaking like that, and at least once or twice changing the oil in one myself. It stuck behind. And if you're not looking for it, that happens. But anyway, cool. Sounds like a party. Mopar Man 67 wants to know, what's your favorite Mopar big block? I am a 383 guy. I love the 383. I love the short deck. I love that there's that much extra room to change the plugs and get around it. I love that it weighs a little less. It doesn't have the same visual impact of the tall deck engines. I like a good max wedge, I like all of them, but 383, and for all the reasons, it made the Roadrunner great. It makes my 68 Charger great. I had three in my 66 Charger, and the hot rodded one was garbage. That's a long story. It was before I knew anything. But the bone stock 383 that I had in that car for a while, it was just perfection. It idled super low, just super smooth. It had this hum to it. It did great burnouts. It got almost 17 miles a gallon. It was super fun. It wasn't amazingly fast, but it was good. And that made me a believer. So I'm a 383 guy. I really, really like him. Rippler is with us again. It says, I've recently inherited a 71 383 HP motor. Awesome. I love those. Dual springs and a windage tray. Yep. Can you recommend a good rebuild kit? I want to improve the compression a little. I just did this. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not like I put a lot of these engines together. I mostly play with stock and low power stuff. I'm not some crazy horsepower guy. I've said that on the channel many, many times. What I have done for 383s is gotten a set of Keith Black pistons. They're a flat top with valve reliefs. They're a higher compression height than the factory ones, so you get a little bit more compression, a little more horse ponies. As my machinist friend likes to say, the 383 is compression challenge. So that's a good way to go. Careful cam selection. Something in the... I've always gone for, what is it? Is it 478, 480, something in that range, under 500 lift, duration. I don't know. I can't tell you duration numbers. I just go in the catalog and go, that one. It's reasonable. You get some chop. It comes alive a little bit, but it doesn't totally ruin the streetability. It's always been a comp that I've used before. I can't say it'll be a comp next time I do this, but it's something a little spicier than the factory HP cam, but not crazy. And you just get a nice, well-rounded, torquey engine. So, yeah, but there's a KB piston that does what you want, and just regular Velcro gaskets and whatever rebuild pieces you can get. Make sure when you have it bored, I assume you're doing that, you have the finish matched to whatever rings you want to run. But there you go. Find a good machinist. They solve those problems for me. I usually just bolt them together. Donnie says the PC check engine light pulls the choke. It's not a PC, it's a Mac. Dave says you're not a Ford owner. No need to have duct tape in arm's reach. I'll take that unique opportunity to welcome the 89 of you that are out there. That's pretty dang good for one of these. Thank you very much for joining us here. If you have not done this, please hit the like button on the stream, on the video, because it does things for the stuff with the deal. And also, I'm playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game. Several other people have said they still are, and they even started early. The DDG drinking game is simple. You drink when I trip over my own tongue. It's a game that gets worse as it goes along. Almost just did it again. Also, you have to drink when I notice how far behind on the comments I am. Tonight I'm doing pretty well so far. And we added another rule. What was it? My sister will pop in and tell me what the other new rule is. I can't remember. All Classics Restoration is with us again as well and says, good evening, Jamie and DDG gang. Thanks for being here. How's it going with you? What's new in your world? Somewhat Fast says, what does your retention rate on your videos look like normally? It's interesting. The more views, the worse it is. And I think that's because the videos go out to wider audiences. Wider audiences aren't as likely to watch. Again, if you're in YouTube Studio, you probably have to be to know what that looks like. It really varies. And the other problem is my videos are always different lengths. So this video, there will be X amount of time. This video, there won't. So it's kind of hard for me to nail that down. Here's the graph from my Roadrunner video that came out Friday. Video that came out Friday Weirdly, it was a little lower at the intro, but then held out a little better than some do toward the end. And it had a few spikes. I don't know what the spikes were. Um, I don't really watch retention as much as I just watch the view number. The view number really tells me all I need to know. You know, yeah, if they're watching it for longer, great. But again, I do videos of such varied length. They're between 12 minutes and 45 minutes. So the numbers don't always mean anything to me in that regard. Season of the Soul 68 says, my dream car, 63 Sport Fury. That's a good one. I really like the 63B body Plymouth. I just like those lights. I like it more than the 64. I don't like the curvy back window of the 64. Of course, the two-door sedan and the four-door sedan in 64 kept that roof, but the hardtop had the curvy one. The 63 hardtop has that squared off back window. And yeah, of those, that's the one for me. I like 62s. They're funky, but they're cool. I definitely get it, and 64s are fine. My brother has one parked out here all the time. It's a neat car. I do like the grill, but 63 is the one for me. Of those early ones. I mean, Christine's pretty cool too. There are a lot of good Furies, but the 63 is a damn fine one. Robert Dentler says, my brother scrapped a running Poly. Damn him! He removed from his 65 Fury to install a 383 like he had in high school. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Polys were not, I don't even know if there's something special now. I have another complete one in the yard right now. It's just, I have already said in the recording of this video, which you guys haven't seen yet, and oh my God, I have so much material on this truck over the last 6 weeks or so since I bought it. It might be longer than that now. I don't even know. But there's so much video of trying to get it unseized and then digging into it. And anyway, I said on camera that I would part out that spare engine if I had to, but I don't want to. Polys are still cheap enough. I've got a friend in the Swept-Line business, luckily, Nick Lamb and his dad, Scott. They've got Lamvinsky's Garage, another Mopar-centric YouTube channel. And he's got a pile of poly pistons in the scrap pile from a truck I almost bought from him. So they just put a whole fresh engine in it. So I'm going to take him a box of tacos and bring home some spare pistons. But I've never scrapped a poly myself. I've scrapped LA 318s. They're just like, I have 6 right now. In fact, it might be more than 6. My mom is here. Dead Dodge Mom checking in from the hospital. Yes. Damn it, she probably doesn't have a cider either, which is a problem. My sincerest apologies to my mother for not having visited her in the hospital this weekend. As some of you may know, she went in for a knee replacement several months ago. She needed both knees, has for many years, but they won't do both of them at once. You have to have the other knee to help recover from the first knee. So they did the first knee. She was in inpatient for a while doing physical therapy and all that. And she's been out for a couple months now. And so they scheduled her, and now she's got 2 new knees. So now she has another recovery period, and then maybe she'll be a little more mobile. So anyway, I heard my little brother, I shouldn't say this too loud. I heard my little brother was sneaking in the good Jello. Anyway, thanks for being here, Mom. Season of the Soul 68 says, first time on, love the channel. Awesome. Thank you very much for being here. I very much appreciate that. And Season of the Soul 68 is out of Huntington, Indiana. Very cool. I am here in Aberdeen, Washington. I can smell the muddy banks of the Wishkah from my back deck, if you know what that means. If you look up Muddy Banks of the Wishkah, you'll figure it out pretty quick. I have to say, your handle, Season of the Soul 68, is just it's doing this weird bell ringing thing for me, because my 68 Charger has an 8-track player in the dash, which does not work, unfortunately, but it has a tape in it called Soul Sounds. Anyway, do with that what you will. Somewhat Fast has the 71 Dart also. Cool. Nice. Brent Forte was buffering. It might be a you problem. Now my internet might be anus. I really hope it's not. I very, very much apologize if you guys can't hear me. Oh, I just saw a really cool comment about my Silvertone head further down. No, you can't have it. I mentioned I went to see a, I hope my internet isn't anus. But anyway, random aside, unrelated to any of this, I mentioned Steel Beans. I went to see Steel Beans a week ago in Fremont, Seattle area. And one of the things, if you look him up online, he got random internet famous because he's a one-man band, but not in the way you think. He plays guitar with a drumstick in his other hand, his picking hand, behind the drum set. And he sings, and he improvises on stage, and he has a keyboard next to him, and he has a drum machine, and he's got a bank of pedals. He is amazing. And on top of all of that, he is a brilliant writer and genuinely a good musician. Like, it's not a gimmick. He's good. He's amazing. But anyway, I knew that I was going to like him when I saw a Silvertone in the background of one of his videos. And unrelated to that, Banana says, have you ever had issues with people leaning on your car when you come back from an errand? Had to shoo some people away who were leaning on the front of my 68 and touching it for pictures. Arg! I've had people put their hands on my cars, and it kind of makes me go, but then I remember they're not that nice. And the thing is, like, even my Charger, while a beautiful car, not really nice enough that I have to worry. Again, the internet thing says it's good right now. I apologize to anyone who's buffering or having problems. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Hopefully I'm still coming in loud and clear. We'll do what we can. But yeah, Banana, it hasn't really been a problem for me, but only because I always drive junk. Ross says, I've always thought the Fury high-back bench seats were cool. When I was 8, the neighbor had the Fury wagon with those seats in a 383. Cool. All Classics Restoration says, C-bodies are a little weird and there aren't many parts available, especially sheet metal stuff. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Dan Berg says, I have a weird question for you. How would you feel about taking a 318 and putting it in a 61 Rambler convertible? It sounds kind of cool, but it sounds like the sort of crazy conversion that is a little too scientific for me. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. Too much fabric cobbling involved. Mopar Man 67 wants to know. Oh, this is a good one. How did you learn how to rebuild an engine? I want to tackle that one day. Simple answer. One word. You're on it right now. YouTube. That's it. I watched videos on YouTube. I went, I could do that. And then I did. And I messed it up. And I learned lessons. I built a running engine, but I put the wrong size pistons in the first engine I ever built. And that was a great lesson. Don't take anyone's words for it. Check everything, especially everything you do. Check your own work. I got to hop over to this real fast. Renee Lachance sent me $6.99 Canadian. Thank you very much. Doesn't appear to have a comment attached to it, so I really appreciate that. What is in your picture? Is that a yellow 66 Charger? That's what it looks like. Can't see the whole car under the little YouTube emblem, but that looks like my old Charger. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, commenter voice. Thank you. Yes, my sister reminds me every time I do commenter voice. You have to drink. But yeah, Mopar Man, that's how I learned: reading, watching YouTube videos, and making mistakes. And that was it. I've successfully built a lot of engines. I've learned some hard lessons. Honestly, I've been really, really super lucky until very recently. I had never lost a cam and lifter. I'd never really had any major issues. I've had oil leaks. There's one engine that, well, I didn't really build it. My partner built it, and it smokes. So we need to check our work on that one. And that'll be coming to the channel this winter. And again, if there's a mistake there that we made, I'm going to show that. I'm going to tell you so you can learn too. But yeah, that's it. School of Hard Knocks. I sure didn't go to school. Actual school. That was a weird series of words. Don't worry about that. Ken Taylor says, have you posted how hard or simple the dash pad is to replace on the 67 Barracuda? No, I have not. And my Barracuda needs one. It's annoying to do with the dash in the car. It's not impossible. I believe they're 3/8 hex little sheet metal nuts. There are, and I think there are 2 actual fine thread nuts at the corners. Something like 7 fasteners up under the dash. If you have the glove box out and the gauges out, it's really not too big a deal. You could do it behind the gauges. That kind of sucks. Not impossible. On some other cars, much harder. Like, I don't even think you can do it on an e-body. Maybe you can, but I don't know. But no, I don't have a video on that. Somewhat Fast says, I have an O2 Caravan, bought with, I'm assuming, 90,000, now has 200,000, never broke down. Only one alternator, still runs strong. Used it to install security systems and DirecTV for years. Ladder rack and loaded down. I've got a couple friends that use minivans as work trucks, mostly Toyotas. But man, if I had to have a minivan like that, I think it would be that generation Caravan. They're just tough as nails. They're junk in a lot of ways, but they're pretty decent junk, and they just keep going. And they're cheap or free. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Again, I'm still getting comments from most people that I'm coming in loud and clear, so I hope I am. 91 of you out there with me. Thank you very much for joining us. With us, I should say. There are quite a few of us here. You just can't see them. If you just dropped in, thanks for being here. Please hit like on the video streamy thingy because it does stuff for the deal with the thing. Oh, I can't skip that. Nick Durkett says, I'm a 383 guy too, but I have a 361 laying around. Which is funny. Any downfalls to the 361, I just want a decent driver out of it. I think every Mopar guy has a 361 laying around. Uncle Tony once said on video that every Mopar guy has a 383 laying around, and that is often true for me as well. But I sold all my 383s a couple of years ago, and I've, other than in running cars, don't mind the weird cat noises. He's behind the desk. But I still have two 361s. I've got one that's a perfectly good running engine that I've had for years, and I've been thinking, I'll use it for something, and I never do. But no, they look exactly like a 383. They take the same intakes, the same manifolds. They fit in exactly the same spot. You don't know which one it is unless you go down to the number pad. The 361 that was original in my 66 Charger, other than ticking and being a two-barrel, it was a great engine. So yeah, I mean, if you just want to make a driver, go for it. 361 is great. Again, it's almost exactly the same thing. So yeah, just a little bore size. What's a little bore size among friends? Rafael Ramirez sent me $5. Thank you very much for that. I sincerely appreciate it. I mean it, I really do. I promise to only use it to buy alcohol. I usually say drugs and alcohol, but I realize that's kind of dishonest because I'm not really one of those guys. Anyway, Raphael says, you are my favorite and the most useful Mopar YouTuber. You helped me fix my 80 Power Wagon. Thank you very much. I am happy to help. I'm here to shamelessly sell myself, but I want to help people along the way. You know, that's the main point of this operation, and I'm going to do it my way. Hopefully, it's entertaining. It is for a lot of people. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. My favorite type of guitar strings is the type that I can get. Well, that's not in tune. I'm telling you, Steel Beans, my new life, like my hero. Check him out. Please do that. Make that guy famous. Anyway, I was watching another one of his videos today. One man behind the drums playing guitar, stick in this hand, and he reached up and tuned his high E string between a hit and a chord. Anyway, I usually use Diodarios or however the heck you say that. For a long time, there was no music store locally here. So I took whatever strings my friends would bring me. But yeah, I'm not super picky. But Diodario, when I'm in a store, that's my go-to. I played Ernie Ball forever. But yeah, Diodario, they're a good quality string. The little number on my screen, I don't know why I'm putting here. It's here, but you can't see it anyway. Says 100 people are watching right now. And is that a record? Or do we have just over 100 before? Don't remember. In any case, thank you very much for joining me here. I appreciate that. This is Dead Dodge Garage Live, which happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I try to answer every comment and question that I get. Something tells me that might be a problem this evening. But please bear with me, and thanks for joining us. Ken Taylor says, I have a 67 Barracuda and found nothing on how to replace the dash pad. Yeah, again, so probably easiest if you pop the cluster out, which unfortunately means the column's kind of in the way. And that's the big cluster too. I don't know, but it's easiest with it out. And then the glove box, take the glove box insert out, and then you just reach in there. There are studs, cast molded whatever into the pad. Well, I guess they're attached to the steel insert. But anyway, they point this way, kind of diagonally downward. I do believe they're all 3/8 inch hex. So take a socket and a handle and get up in there and loosen them up. And yeah, there are 2 in the corners. And then I think there are 5 across the middle. So you reach in this way, reach up, reach this way, and there you go. And then it just pops right off, pops right on. And then, go ahead and put back on as many as you're comfortable with. 3 or 4's probably good enough. Those cars rattle anyway. But yeah, I'll try to include that in a video if I have opportunity to do it. Again, my 67 needs it really badly, but I got a cheapo cover that I popped on there. And honestly, I don't really care to fix it right anytime soon. As I've mentioned in previous streams, I may actually sell that car anyway, but we'll see. One guy was super, super serious and said he'd come by tomorrow. So no, I don't think he's coming by tomorrow. All Classics Restoration says, I've had a 361 in my 68 Coronet since 96. Never gave me any problems. No, they're great. Again, I mean, it's just a 383 with a smaller bore. Great engine. Every bit as great as the 383. Just a wee bit less displacement. Dan Tupper says he almost bought a Rambler. He was going to go with what he knew, the small block Mopar. Yep. Ripper says, awesome show. Thanks. Thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Ken Taylor says, I'm forever 383 as per Joe Teuton Sr. The 383 has torque of the big block and rev of the small block. Yeah, the short stroke, the lighter weight, the same heads, good heads as a 440. Great parts there. But yeah, shorter stroke, higher rev. So yeah, they are willing to go to the higher RPMs. And that's, yeah, they're like the small block of big blocks, or whatever. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I just love them. I love everything about them. And I don't know. Well, okay, our wagon has a 440. It's a motorhome low compression 440. I think that may be the only 440 powered vehicle that I've ever actually owned and driven. I've had a lot more short deck engines, and I just have a special affinity with them. I can't think of any other 440s right offhand. I'm really a small block guy. Slant 6s are good too. But yeah, 383. That is my happy place in big block world. I see some good comments later. Again, I'm going to try to get to all of these. 97 of you out there. I always ask for questions and comments. If you don't mind, maybe hold off on them for a few minutes. I want to try and get through as many of these as possible. With almost 100 people out there, that may get challenging, but I do want to thank you for joining me. It's awesome. DDG all night, all day, 100 times. DDG, www.deaddodgegarage.com, 100 years. 9 more seasons, Morty. 9 more seasons. I am not on TikTok. I have been told that I should be on TikTok, but ain't nobody got time for that. Wow. Ken says, my 383 redline at $8,000. I've never taken one that high, and did correct that typo. I've never tried that. We'll get there someday. I'm not going to do that with the Charger engine, but I will say there was a tack, but I don't think it was accurate. If you watch the video of me driving my 68 Charger home, it had 430 gears in it, and I was cruising at 75, 80, for 50 miles. And the 383 just loved it. It did not complain. There was plenty more in it. It was super happy. I was getting 11 plus miles a gallon, which isn't amazing. But again, screaming big block. So cool. They're such willing participants in nefarious activities. Crashes Roadrunner Garage says, my first car was a 70 Newport 383. By the way, I have a 77 Trail Duster for sale. Don't tell me these things. It would have to be really cheap and really close. But if anyone else is looking for a trail duster, excuse me, I started reading the next comment, damn it. Go get a hold of Crash's Roadrunner Garage. JMR says, the white Roadrunner was very interesting, solving all the issues from being in other shops. I had a similar issue with the Big Block 70 Dart I picked up for $100. The carb base gasket was missing. That's a good one. I picked up a Big Block 78 Power Wagon once that just ran like butt, wouldn't idle right, backfired, and it was all horrible. Okay, bye. Hi, bye. And someone had put those additional paper gaskets that sit on top of the valley pan on that engine. Don't. It's not necessary, and all it does is makes vacuum leaks when they come apart. Fixed that, and it was night and day. It was amazing. But yeah, it was interesting. I thought it was a weird problem. Now, funny story, I actually emailed Uncle Tony about that problem, and then I figured it out before I ever heard back. But it was just weird, and I was racking my brain going, what the hell? What could be doing this? But just randomly, I went, I should change the plugs. And I changed the plugs, and it was fixed. So weirdest thing, no misfired idle. So there was nothing for me to go, yep, that's a fouled plug. That's what it is. Got to be what it is. There were no dead cylinders. It was just dropping out. And then it must have been arcing out in the cap. You know, the spark has to go somewhere. It's going to take the path of least resistance. So it was probably jumping over to the next cylinder or the previous cylinder, hence the popping out the intake. Lovejoy says, my retention rate is almost always 25%-ish. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to those numbers. Click through, duration, Oh, I don't have retention on today's. I was going to look at today's. Today's video being a technical video, the 318 to 360 swap, always going to do worse. They just do. I like doing that kind of video. A couple people have said, yeah, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. Do more of this. Well, yeah, but they don't get as good of views and they don't help me to grow the channel as much. They do over time. The guides that I've done, people come back and watch them again and again and again. But, okay, the Fury video is 42.8%. I wonder what... But I'm sure today's is lower. I don't know about the Roadrunner one. I want to know what the Polara video was. Because if you guys didn't see this, the Polara video I released last weekend rocketed to 56,000 views. It slowed down now, but 56,000 views in 3.5, 4 days. Well, it's 56 now. It was 50 in just a couple days, which is insane for me. That has never happened. So, again, I was asking last week, what did I do? I still don't really know. But, okay, retention on that one was 27. So, and that seems more like it because, again, it's a video that gets tons and tons of views. So then it's got a positive rating in the algorithm thing. So then it goes out to tons more people. Well, then tons more people stop watching. So the retention rate just goes right to the toilet. So, again, it's like I don't really pay attention to that so much. I'm still getting the comments. I'm still getting the positive response. So I know it's doing well. But yeah, the retention rate goes way lower. JMR says, your knowledge is way past your years. I think you're right. And I think it's because I really threw myself at it. And someone asked me recently in the comments, like, how could I learn to do, what you did? And that was my response, like, whole ass one thing. Like, it's just like cars, family, eat, sleep, cars. Like, that's what I got going on, for better or worse, and often it's worse, but it's just cars. That's what makes me tick. Specifically classic Mopars. I'm all in on it, and yeah, that's that. I like to think I have a knack for understanding things and retaining useful knowledge of a certain type. I can't remember anyone's name or events coming up or things I've said I'll do, but I remember useless things like the fuel sending unit wire on like all classic Mopar cars is blue. Anyway, that's where we're at. Bobby's B says, I had part in the spike in those numbers. Nice. My mom says, I had to search for the like button because I'm not used to watching this on my phone. I finally found it. Is it a little heart down in the corner? I think I just saw that today. I don't even think it was there before. All Praise dropped in, admittedly, a little bit ago and said, hey, DDG gang, I'm late tonight. Love the C-Body video. In an alternate reality, I own a 70 Chrysler 300 Hearst edition. Hey, All Praise. Guess what Tom owns? Jason says, I'm jealous that line stayed above 33%. And again, it doesn't always. It just depends. And that has been my experience. The videos that do the best, the retention is worse. It's just how it is. So I'm almost exclusively honed in on the views. Retention is a part of it, and length watched and all that. If it's popular among my viewers, though, it's going to get out there. So those are the numbers I'm more worried about. Somewhat Fast says his is usually 35 to 40. Yeah. See, again, my like decent average video looks like is kind of in that range. The ones that get tons of views are right in the toilet. So, okay. And it was from Raphael, who also sent the tip. Thanks for that again. And the question about my favorite guitar strings, the answer to which was Diodario and or whatever I can get. But I think in my gear case right now, which is right there, I don't know if you can quite see it. That's my my Rode case. And it's got strings. Those are strings right there. Spare picks. All my chords are in there. I think it's almost all Diodarios in there. But anyway, he's commenting about the Silvertone 1484. And I know I'm way behind, but I'm going to take a minute to explain that. That's that amplifier right there. The cab for it is right there. They're not a matched pair. The same weirdo nutso hippie musician in Portland I got that from found me the cab. We became friends and really interesting. I got a Les Paul from him too. It's in a case here. And my 1966 Harmony also came from the same guy. Very strange, but friendly. Anyway, those amps were sold at Sears. They were made by Dan Electro. They're cheap. That covering on there, not Tolex like a Fender. That's basically wallpaper. They're made out of fiberboard. And today I picked that amp up to clean over there, and the entire top of it lifted off on one side. It's been coming apart for a long time, but I forgot. Anyway, those amplifiers were popularized by Jack White in the early 2000s. That's the only reason I got into them. I have to say that. I own that. I used to own 2 or 3. Actually, I've had a Dan Electro as well, and the 1483 bass amp. So I guess I've owned 4 or 5 of them, and it's all because of Jack White. Hi. How are you today? Why did you change clothes? Cool.
I was hot.
I was hot. Can you what's that number there say? What's that number? Can you read that number for me? That's the number of viewers right now. 106. That's never been that high before. So you want to say hi to everybody?
No.
She doesn't want to say hi, but this is Ava, Dead Dodge daughter. She hates when I call her that. So I have to call her Ava now. She has her own YouTube channel. If you've got kids in her age range, which is, well, she's 7. Ava's, that's Ava with an E, Ava's Toys and Adventures. She's been doing a lot of shorts lately. We're working on a music video for a song that she recorded here in the studio last year right now. It's going to be pretty cool. And there are a bunch more videos I need to get up on her channel. Just the one channel is a full-time job. I'm really sorry it takes me so long to finish your stuff. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad.
The person who edits his videos before mine.
I have to. Mine pay the bills. Yours will pay the bills someday. We'll get you there. Anyway, so that's what's up with that. Oh, the Silvertone. Cheapo amp. You bought them at Sears. And they were actually... Okay. Oh, you're clicking the next comment? Nice. You bought them at Sears, and they were hardwired to the speaker cabs. You would put the amp in the back of the cab and carry it to your buddy's garage for band practice. So cool. They're cheap garbage. Well, it's going to be a minute because I need to do some stuff here. They're cheap garbage, but they sound fantastic. Mine's broken right now. Brian McKernan says, Valiant Wagon. Okay, bye.
Bye. I just came here to steal the phone.
I figured. Okay, see you later. Bye. Anyway, that was your vintage tube music gear corner in Dead Dodge Garage Live. Brian McKernan says, Valiant Wagon. Yeah, we owned one for a while, a 63. It was converted. It had a 360 in it. And if you know anything about 63A bodies, the firewall's in the way. So it had a piece of firewall cut out and covered with duct tape. engineering. But that was a fun little car. And remember, flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. I got to have a new default one. And remember, lint is a shell's best friend. Oh, I'm going to hack this one up. Dominic Serignese or Serignese? One of those, I hope. Apologies in either case. Says, in 1979, I paid $550 for a 71 Challenger RT 383 4-speed. Totally stock, unmolested. It needed a paint job. I hope it's still out there somewhere. It may well be. Nirvana Live. Woo! I have been playing live shows locally here in Grays Harbor. I do live pretty near to Layson, so I've never been there, but I work at Rocket Restorations, which is in Olympia, closer than Layson. Anyway, in my music career, I've played a lot of shows, and I've been with a good few bands, and I've done different things. But one of the things I'm proud of having done locally here for a period of maybe 6 or 7 years, there was a Kurt Cobain memorial concert. There was this whole thing where everyone from Aberdeen hated Kurt Cobain, and then they realized that they liked Kurt Cobain, some of them, but some of them still hate him. But some of them realized, hey, he's kind of like a big deal, and we should probably honor him at least in some way, even if he wasn't a perfect human. There's no such thing as a perfect human. So there was this time where there was a concert put on by a committee called the Kurt Cobain Memorial Festival or something like that. Anyway, I've played a bunch of them. I think I probably played 3 or 4 of them at least. I think there were less than 10, but more than 5. Anyway, my band played the biggest one was the opening concert for the DNR Theaters, the Classic Theater here in Aberdeen. It was renovated and reopened 2009, 10, 11, somewhere in that neighborhood. Anyway, we got to open that show. Before Cars, which is a band headed by Chad Channing, one of the original Nirvana drummers, they played that show. And nope, don't remember. A somewhat well-known band. But we got to open it. So we were the first band to play at the first event at the reopened theater. And every band was encouraged to do a Nirvana cover for that show. The song I picked, Aneurysm. And that video is online. You can go see it. It's on my old YouTube channel, which my sister will probably drop in the comments because she knows what it is and I don't remember. Anyway, I'm way behind. I apologize. Drink. Ken Taylor is currently building a 273 Commando. Yes! To the 66 Super Commando spec that was used in 66 SCCA. Awesome. As you guys know, I love small blocks. I am planning a spicy 273 build. I've collected a good few parts for that. It's coming. I haven't been able to dive into it. I've got so much going on, so it'll probably be this fall. But I am really looking forward to seeing what kind of power I can wring out of a 273. It's going to go in my 66 Barracuda, the garbage can. Just Ralph, a Jersey guy stuck in PA, is here with us again and says, hey, Jamie, I stumbled in tonight again as well. Thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate it. My mom says, yes. Can you hear that? I've been hearing that noise constantly for days. I have no idea what it is. I think it's an import, but it's doing big smoky burnouts and drifting everywhere, like right across the river, I think. I don't know. I have no idea who that is. You know your buddies by their exhaust notes, but I don't recognize that one. Anyway, my mom says, no, I don't have any cider. Damn it. I do appreciate Alex's efforts bringing the premium Jello. Eric Wilson says, my band played a gig yesterday, made $150. Nice. I've never made a whole lot of money off shows. $100 usually, excuse me. My best nights are in the 100, 125 range. The cover band I've been playing with this year, who I've talked about a good bit, Miss Mackey and Company. I'm the company part of it. We actually make money, which is weird. It's like we play stuff people want to hear or something. And yeah, I make around that. That's never really been what it's about for me. I've thrown many local shows. In fact, I got to start as a sound man because the local sound men weren't meeting my expectations when I was 15 or 16 years old. And so I've spent a lot of time behind the board, running shows, putting shows together, booking bands. I've been in so many bands. I have played shows where I was in every single band, couple times, I think. So anyway, it's never really been about the money. It's fun. It would be great to make money, like real money as a musician. I've joked before that Dead Dodge Garage's entire reason for existing is to secretly launch my professional music career. And just as another note, if you ever hear any music on the channel, I made it. I either recorded it right here in this room, I recorded it at a jam session with one of my other bands, or recorded it over the years, whatever, but it's music I made. I haven't been using music as much lately. It just hasn't really fit what I'm doing. Things will come and go. But yeah, any music you hear, I made it. Whoops, wrong thing. Banana says, I wash my 68 twice a week and there's still dust on her. Dude, you don't. My shop is the dustiest, most terrifying place. I just washed the 68 a week and a half ago after I got the engine compartment done. It was beautiful. I drove it to Rocket, got a few dead bugs on it, but it was still pretty good. Park it in the shop for the week. Dust. Took it out yesterday. Dust. Joe Stevens says, have a duster, slant 6, planning on putting a big block in. Anything I should be worried about? Not really. In theory, you want better brakes. If you've got 9-inch drums, that's a mistake. You want to upgrade. Front discs would be a good way to go. You're probably going to end up changing bolt patterns, unless you've got a later duster that already has disc brakes, in which case, great. Make sure you've got brakes that are up to the task. You probably want heavier heavier torsion bars. You probably need a heavier axle. You can run the 7 1/4 for a while, but it's not going to live super long if you try getting traction with big tires. Front sway bar, if you don't have one, also a really good idea. Other than that, get the mounts from Schumacher. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I buy their stuff. Oh, that probably has private information on it. Yeah, because they slapped that right over the damn shipping label. Damn it, you can't even see it. Anyway, Schumacher conversion mounts, problem solved. $200 easily spent. Get some headers that fit. That'll be expensive. Good luck. Yeah, there's not a lot to it. Easy to wire. Easy to adapt most other stuff. Transmission mounts in the right place. Yep. Sir Swerve says, building a 318, stock bottom end, stock pistons, not decked. I have X heads off my old 340. I also have the 340 cam. Could I install X heads on my 318 with a cam and have no piston to valve interference? If they're stock pistons, they are probably down far enough that you're just fine. You should probably check, but the factory 340 cam isn't even all that big. So I don't think you will have any problems. I don't think. But it's good practice to check. I'm going to tell you right now, slapping that X head on there, you are dropping the compression with the stock piston. So it'll flow, but you're leaving a lot of compression off the table. Just saying. The big head, big port on the 318 drops the compression, loses velocity. It can make power, but it's not necessarily an ideal situation. Now, having said that, the 340 in my Demon was blown up on the drag strip in 75. And Dale installed a 318 bottom end with the 340 cam with the J heads. That's what was in it for years. And it did the thing, but it was definitely down on compression. So just something to keep in mind. Banana has his sights set on a 69 slant 6 charger. That's awesome. I've gone on record as having said that I want a slant 6 charger. I just wanted any charger, and I have one. One's good enough. I don't even look at them anymore. People send me ads for affordable, buildable projects. I will say there was a Circle Track beater one for sale for about 10 grand recently. Yeah, it was cool. Not in the budget. I'd love to have a death metal style charger. I wanted a piece of crap one. I didn't really require a nice car, but that's what I got. I don't think there are any more chargers coming unless I get YouTube rich or whatever. And then there will be 10. I won't tell you that I won the lottery, but there will be signs. Anyway, my mom says, your brother almost lost a finger. And that's very true, but I'm not sure why she said that. Murshad Ibrahimi, I hope, says, which Mopar engine is the most reliable? Slant 6 is legendary for that. I've sent rods through a couple of them. Well, through one of them, but I've seen rods through more. They just kind of have like inherent design problems. They can be quite good. I think I'm going to go 318. I don't think a 318 has ever done me wrong. I've had them blowing smoke like you wouldn't believe, making noise, no oil pressure, like no thrust bearing left, and they just keep going. So I'm going to go 318. But honestly, I have had nothing but reliable, fun times with just about any classic Chrysler engine. They're really, really good. Eric Wilson says there's nothing like the School of Hard Knocks or the School of Rod Knocks, which is a good one. Rooster sent me pics and I was going to pull them up, but then my daughter stole my phone. Mark Norman wants to know, do you like any of the Australian Mopars? I do. I don't really know them all that well, but I like the funky export cars. They're pretty neat. I really do not know a whole lot about them. G Swift's Garage is watching from Perth, Australia, and says, love your channel. I'm building a 71 Charger 440. Awesome. Sounds good. I love those late Chargers. Good stuff. Walter G is here with us and says, I see some of your die-casts in the background. Nice little collection you got. Yeah, it's nothing compared to yours. But like I was saying, I do have a decent little collection there. I did bring, if you didn't see me show it already, I brought one of the ones from you down from the other office. I got to decide. I think this one might move into the Demon. The Project Roadrunner is moving into the Project Roadrunner. It's out in the shop now. Really excited about that. And then I'll filter some other ones in here. The case is pretty full. And to fit in the case, it's really got to be out of the package. That area there, when I get around to it, is all going to be hanging packaged cars. My brother, Stuntman Bob, is right there. It's right there, being a weirdo. Anyway, someone asked me in the comments today if he has a channel. He does not. So I just get to steal all the potential content from him. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Renee LaChance says, yes, it is. Okay, see, in this view, I can see it better because the logo is smaller. And maybe I've actually seen you on here before and recognized the picture. It looks familiar now. Anyway, that's the yellow 66 Charger. He says, yes, that's my 66. Thanks for all your videos. Very informative. Awesome. Glad to help. Here's my old yellow 66 Charger right here. It's wearing a crappy Mako repaint, so it's not as yellow as it's supposed to be, as you can see there. It was a fun car. I loved that thing. But once I got my 68, I just could not justify having both. And Dave caught me on the right day. Dave also says, I don't have a 361 laying around yet. Yeah, that's because I still have two. One of them's in my sister's garage. It's the original engine from that car, and that was the Tiki 361 I was talking about. I've been meaning to get it to him for over a year now. No, almost exactly a year now. We're very, very close. It's hard to believe I've owned my 68 that long, but I have. Time flew by. This YouTube thing has made life go even faster, and it's nuts. Anyway, YT Viewer is here with us again. It says, crap, I already forgot how to do the like thing for the streams. Well, I hope you figure it out. There are 106 people with us here. Thank you very much for being here. Oh, my sister's got the semi-famous band that I opened for here at the DNR, and that was Candlebox. Can never remember their name. I'm just not good at stuff. But yes, I opened for Candlebox. I'm kind of a big deal. I'm not kind of a big deal. But there are videos of that online, and you can check it out if you want. Proud moment for me. It's the biggest crowd I've ever played. It was a packed house. It was awesome. It was about 1,200 people, I believe. Candlebox. My old band was called Audrey's on Fire, and there are some random videos of us online. Whitewood Funk was the one I started in 2010 with my friend Drew Funk and my other friend Mike White. And that's the name that's spray painted on all the gear. Walter G says, I checked out Steel Beans a few days ago. He's a very talented one-man band. Yes, he's amazing. I can't say that enough. I'm so impressed with him. I've known a lot of musicians. I've seen plenty of shows. There are a lot of talented people out there, but that guy just makes me go, man, So good. And there were several comments, about 100 viewers, which, by the way, we've maintained since that happened. So again, thank you very much to everybody that's here with us. It is just awesome. I'm just happy to be here. But I guess we'll drink. That's fair. What's going to happen when we hit 200? Do we have to drink twice? Banana says, I have a really solid charger, but I do realize it's a piece of crap in some ways. But hey, it has a 4-speed. Mine does not. And I say it all the time. My car it's a nice looking car. It is a better charger than I ever should have been able to buy. But it is not perfect. And I will be the first one to tell you that. I've showed it on video many times. I'll do it again. It's just a really nice driver quality car. That's all it is. Don't look too close. Eric Wilson says, Ernie Ball Paradigms. I've never played Paradigms, I don't think. Jeremy Davies says, Jamie, 71 Charger RT 440, trying to rebuild my fried harness, but adding a bunch of aftermarket stuff. Should I grab the wire harness you spoke of in your video or use the spare stock one? I really prefer stock, as I said in that video. If you're adding a ton of stuff, you could take the extreme step of going to one of those American Auto Wire kits or something like that. It's working out really nice on the Challenger. I'm happy with it. I do have power to it now. I've tested a few things. I've got the Vintage Air up and working. We've actually test run the engine. I got the tune right on the first hit. I don't even know how I did that, but it worked. Got all the settings right in the Terminator. Super excited about that. There is video coming. Don't worry. I'm happy with that kit. It's just so much work. If you are not doing a modern engine and a modern heater and the aftermarket everything where you actually really can take advantage of that, I just wouldn't. I'd rather have the stock wiring. And you can even add an additional fuse panel alongside it, somewhere in the vehicle to power your additional circuits. I've done that before. So that's an option. It's really going to come down to what you're doing. If you're adding a ton of aftermarket things and you need a bunch of extra feeds, yeah, the American Auto Wire, again, it's nice quality stuff. It's just a lot of work to get back to what you have right now. But yeah, if your harness is fried, obviously you got to do something. So dealer's choice. Banana says, Richard Cius was an absolute legend for that 68 to 70 Charger body style. Yes, he was. As I understand, he basically just drew that car. They tweaked it a little bit, but basically he drew that design and someone looked over his shoulder and went, yep, good stuff. He never really got credit for it either, but he should. He created my absolute favorite Dodge body ever made. Mine too. Too bad they weren't built to last. Yes, the rainwater handling, drainage aspect of the car left something to be desired. Dominic had another good question. How do you tell the difference between a 318 and a 340? And Brent says, the price. And Sir Swerve says, read the side of the block. Wiggy says, everyone with a 340 will tell you they need to. Those are all great answers. The side of the block, Sir Swerve gave you that. It's cast into the side of the block. If you can't see that, you can scrape on the front of the block, the V of the block, if you're looking at it, the driver's side right below the line where the cylinder head is bolted on. The front face against the cylinder head mounting surface, the deck. It is punched in there, and actually there's a build number and a Julian date and everything there as well. I just learned this. I've seen those numbers so many times, and I had no idea what they were. But they actually tell you the date your engine was built, which is cool. So you will probably have to scrape the paint, but you can scrape the paint if there's still paint. Scrape the paint there to read it. Otherwise, yeah, the size on the side of the block. Now, a late cast crank engine will have an external balancer, an external balance harmonic balancer. They all have external balance. Balancers. It's not a motor, it's an engine. But yeah, it says on the side of the block. Alcier says, what I noticed over several years, our southern neighbors have good rust-free bodies, but sun-baked interiors. Up in Alberta, the rust is a killer. Your videos are very informational and entertaining. Thank you very much, Al. I'm sort of in a weird Goldilocks zone here. The Pacific Northwest has rust, but it's not the Midwest Eastern Seaboard, road salt, Canadian, the cars disintegrated into the earth 45 years ago rust. It's rainwater retention rust. So it's always spare tire wells in the trunk, lower quarter panels, lower fenders, the areas that didn't drain well, and the areas that mud got crammed into and held that water there. Sometimes under the vinyl top, window corners, things of that nature, and you'll get odd spots elsewhere, but that's usually all it is. And that is what I like to call ignorable rust, because usually it is. Who cares what your lower quarters look like? Who cares if part of the floor is Swiss cheese? That's fine. Totally fine. Season of the Soul 68 wants to know what makes the 340 wedge so awesome. But the other thing I was going to say, Al, is we don't really get the sun baking here in the Pacific Northwest either. We do get moisture, the carpet disintegrates, everything smells. But usually things are okay. But anyway, what makes the 340 wedge so awesome? Higher compression, bigger bore, but shorter stroke, same as the Rev Happy 273 and the 318, same stroke, but a bigger bore than the 360, an excellent flowing cylinder head, bigger valves, more aggressive camshaft, good manifolds, 4-barrel carb, and good valve springs. They just threw all the performance parts at it, and big bore, short stroke. It's a Rev Happy combination, and it can breathe. It does cool stuff. So that is what made them awesome. All of those things I just said. It was just a neat factory package. The real thing that you wouldn't do with, like, okay, some crazy performance high compression builds, you'll have a domed piston, right? The 340 didn't have a domed piston, but it had a positive deck height, a piston that actually stuck up out of the cylinder and into the head. And that was kind of the magic trick they used to get the compression that high. And then, yeah, really good cylinder heads. 6 seasons in a movie. I was gonna reference that for something else recently, and I didn't. Damn it. Sir Swerve said another question about that. Love the show. Can I install stock X heads on my 318 with a stock bore? I think you can. I think the 202s are going to end up shrouded, but I don't think they'll hit. I think they'll just be somewhat shrouded. As far as I know, yes, but I've never done it. So take my advice with a grain of salt. Brent Forte says this line 6, and they were well known for their reliability. Corinth is famous for its leather. But Anders says, I hit 147 in my 68 Charger. I somehow did not get a ticket. I've been 130 plus in a 68 Charger on a back road at night once, and it was terrifying. I don't think I'll ever do that again. Unless it's got a wing. That's a different story. Haven't gotten to do it yet, though. Rich Jordan says, what attaching kit would you use for adding a small block windage tray for an engine that came without it? Factory and Mopar performance parts apparently are no longer available. I don't know. I haven't had to do this yet, but I feel like they're available on Jegs. And the like. Hold on. That's horrible typing. Hold on. 318 windage tray kit. I just saw these somewhere. Milodon has one. It's not the factory style, though. Yeah, it's a little different. They're available everywhere for big block. That's not a problem. For big block, you can get that gasket with it built in. Year one still lists the Mopar performance part, but that doesn't necessarily mean they still have it. Nope, canceled, no longer available. Got it. There's one on eBay right now for $100.99. Yeah, maybe look at the Milodon part. It's I think this is it, 32230. But it is not quite the same as the factory. No, I don't want $15 off. Not quite the same as the stock one, but pretty close. Very similar idea, and it's $80. Does it include the hardware? Bolt hose must be. Huh. Hardware included? No, so you're screwed. So you got to go buy the shoulder stud kit as well. But those are out there. I just saw those. Me, I would go to Rocket and take one off the pile and say, pretty please. Griffin Lloyd says, hey, I am 14 and I have a 67 Belvedere 2 with a 440. Love the channel. Awesome. Very cool, Griffin. We had one of those Belvederes with a 383, and that was a really fun car. Very cool. Very, very cool. I started at 17. My first was a slant 6 powered 72 Valiant sedan. Then I got my 74 Duster, another slant 6. Then I had a slant 6 powered Scamp. Then I had a Dart with a slant 6. Then I had a V8 Dart. And it kind of went from there. I've probably had, I'm going to say around 50 Mopars, I think. But yeah, great way to get started. Very cool. Hang on to that thing. You'll be glad you did. YT Viewer 127, a frequent follower, says, we love that you don't do only one type of video. They're all great. Keep that up. Hope to see more of the check out this car in auction videos. Those were neat. Yes, and I said when I did that one that I'm looking for more cars like that. I would love to do videos like that. But honestly, I went looking for the next one. The big auction in January when all the wing cars were going up for sale, I looked at tons of them. Any of the ones that had pictures of underneath and really good detail shots, I looked through all of them, just trying to find another car like that that would be good to point and laugh at. And I didn't find any. They were all really good cars. So yeah, I'll repeat the call now. If anyone ever sees, an auction car, a car that's for sale local to them or on Facebook or whatever, that looks suspicious, maybe it looks good, but it's not, or you have questions, or you want to know if it's genuine, if you think it's something I should see, cool. Email me a link, screenshots, something like that. jamienoise@gmail.com. You can always get a hold of me there. But yeah, I'd love to find more cars like that to do more videos. I did one more like that, and it was supposed to be the counterpoint to that video. It was a 68 RT that had actually been very nicely restored. It wasn't perfect. It didn't have the chrome medallions on the front door panels. Oh no! But it was a really nice restoration, and it was $30,000 cheaper. So that was looking pretty good, and I did a video on that, but it didn't really get the views. Again, if the opportunity arises, I will do it. But as far as different types of videos, again, I've never planned to do like all revivals. I never planned to be Vice Grip Garage. I planned to be AVE with cars with heavy influence from Uncle Tony. And that's what I'm doing. Yes, I do revivals. Yes, they're on my channel, but only because that is what I do. It's what I'm doing with my life right now. I'm working in a Mopar restoration shop, and these kinds of projects come along. It's what I do at home. It's what I do for fun. So yeah, I put that stuff on video, and the people like it. But I want to do what I want to do. I'm going to try different things. I'm going to do videos that I think make sense. If people watch them, awesome. It's a learning process. I'm really hoping that it's a podcast-like format. It's me speaking into a nice microphone for an extended amount of time, and I'm going to show pictures and clips that illustrate what I'm talking about. And there'll be jokes. It's Dead Dodge Garage. Like it's not like it's going to be hilarious like stand-up comedy, but it should be entertaining, and it's just my style of storytelling. And I hope people like it. If they do, awesome. Because I have a list. I can't show you how long the list is because my daughter stole my phone. But I have a long list of history type videos that I want to do. Now, I told Tom I was doing this, and then I found out that another Mopar figurehead in the Pacific Northwest where I am, who has a popular Mopar podcast, is already doing a Mopar history series on his podcast. I didn't know that. I don't think it's going to change what I'm doing, but I mean, our styles are not. They're not the same at all. So I don't think there's going to be any issue there. You're going to see different stuff on the channel. You're going to see technical guides, stuff to help out people that are, 14 and just getting started with these cars. You're going to see in-depth deep dives on certain subjects. You're going to see more LA Mopar builds. Those are always going to be around. I've got several in the pipeline. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm glad you guys like it. I really appreciate it. And as I've said many times before, I appreciate you guys like YT Viewer, Banana, Wiggy, G-Bop Baluba's here with us, Bell James, whole bunch of names I recognize. I appreciate you guys always being in the comments, watching the videos, being here again and again, week after week. It means the world to me. So thanks for that. Banana says, I remember being 14. Man, it was terrible. But at least the old Mopars were affordable. Yeah, I was 13, 14 when when I was really sad and I became a songwriter. So a lot of good came out of that. Wiggy says, Mopars weren't old when I was 14. Sorry. They were when I was. Banana says, used car lots were filled with them when I was growing up. Man, I said this in the video I'm talking about that will be coming out in the coming weeks. When I got started in the hobby, A-bodies were everywhere, and they were $150 to $300. And I loved that. But it wasn't long after that they were all gone. And then they went up and up and up. G-Bot Baluba says, I just replaced the power steering box in my 64B body, and I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into, and it's not something I ever want to do again. This was with the engine in the car. With the engine in the car from above, absolute nightmare, and with it just jacked up off the ground, not much better. I don't want to rub it in. I am lucky enough to have arrived at a point in life where I do have a two-post lift, and it makes it so much better. I can do a Mopar steering box in 15, 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I know other people with channels and with platforms like mine stay away from the lifts to try and stay a little more relatable to normal people who don't have one. But I'm an advanced hobbyist, but sometimes I'm a production mechanic, and having the lift really helps me get these things in quickly, off the ground, look at them, do the part, do the video, get it off, get it out. So I'm sorry, but they're pretty easy for me to do now. From underneath, it is an easier operation, but it's still pretty hard to get to the bolts. Yeah, huge pain. And Bell James, who I mentioned a minute ago, says, better late than never. Howdy, y'all. Back in Oklahoma. Yep. Bell has left us here in Washington and teleported magically back to Oklahoma. Bell joined us a little while ago, as did the Dougster, who was temporarily here, but probably no longer is. And in addition to those folks, we've got 112 people here with us. That is definitely a record. So I thank you very much for joining us and helping make that number all impressive and stuff. Means a lot. I am almost down to the end of the comments and questions, so I really appreciate you guys kind of putting a pause on it when I asked. It kind of helps me move through things here. If you do have any technical questions you want answered, or anything specifically that you wanted to add in relation to anything I've been talking about, or any of the 3 videos, that's right, 3 videos and a live stream from this weekend, go ahead and drop them now. I'll be here for another 25 minutes or so, and I will try to get to everything. I can't promise it, but I will try. Anyway, Banana says, Mopars weren't necessarily old, but they were just used cars the teenagers had. Yep, they used to just be cars, as well as old Novas and Delta 88s. Class of 88, wow. Wiggy says 79. Banana says, I miss when cars were big and horrible. I like all the ugly earthy colors that were prevalent when I was younger. Everything was unique. I might have allegedly called full-size cars big, and I've lovingly insulted them on camera a couple times this week. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, yeah. I think you mentioned that before. Banana still dailies the 73 Olds Delta 88. Cool. That is cool. I was daily driving classic Mopars for a long time, mostly trucks for the last few years of it. But at this point, I do an actual commute, and I really wanted to commute in the daily driver Barracuda, but I don't have time to finish it, and I need to actually get there. So it's been reliable Japanese transportation, or my Cummins, which is usually reliable. Brent Forte says, remember sitting in the big back seat, sliding from one side to the other every time they turned. Someone in the comments said something about taking naps on the package tray in their dad's C-body. Dougster says, Olympia beer. It's the water. Damn it. I don't have any of my Olympia cans in here, but I do have, unrelated, but somehow related, Mr. Boston's Deluxe Blend. That is a bottle I took out from under a house in probably 2000. I'm going to say 9. This is an A blend. The liquor industry has traditionally classified blended whiskeys into these categories: A, B, and C blends. This whiskey is a genuine A blend because of its proof, age, and percentage of whiskey. Mr. Boston's Deluxe. Except no substitutes. Anyway. Ain't never seen no artesians. Plain Brown Rapper said, there's a cheapie for you. I do have to apologize. I don't know what you're referring to. And sometimes I'm using StreamYard, as you probably know, if you can read. And sometimes comments fall through the cracks. They get lost in translation. So I don't know what you're referring to. I apologize for that. Dominic says, I pronounced his name perfectly and I get a gold star, but I did take 2 stabs at it and you didn't say which one was right. And even if you did, I wouldn't remember. So I can't take too much credit. Anyway, I'll take the gold star regardless. Jeff Gibson says, my 68 Belvedere 4-door 318 had done a complete tune-up and there was still a little skip in it. Put 195 degrees thermostat in it, no more skip. Factory knew what it used. Yeah, that's what you want. I was amazed. 273 rocks like a 289. Yeah, that's my theory on the 273. I want to build a screamer. It's not going to be a 500 horsepower monster, but I think it's going to do cool stuff. I mean, I've seen sub 300-inch cars in, the smaller gasser classes popping wheelies. So I want to be there. Might be tunnel ram, might be a short dual quad intake, but that is my genius idea. Screaming RPM. Anyway, I'm serious about the 195 thermostat thing. I don't know why it would have fixed your skip, but awesome. Good. The factory knew what they were doing. Ken Taylor says, thanks for the info on the dash pad. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Well, good luck. I just hope it didn't make it sound too easy. Again, the cluster's in the way, the glove box is in the way, but it's not too bad. Mr. F is with us and says, love the show. Found you after freaking out, picking up, my margarita-induced auction purchase of a 1953 M37. Nice. Yes, I did, I think, 2 or 3 videos on that M37 that was here. I traded a Cummins for an M37 and a Power Wagon, but in the same moment, the guy handed me the M37 title, and I took it and handed it to a guy that was trading us an 85 step-side Dodge. And I've done a video on that as well. But man, the M37 was sweet. I prefer the civilian cab. And many other people do. Again, I love the M37. It's super cool, but the civilian truck's also worth more. And I'm sure there's a reason for that. I liked the M37. It actually rode better. They're a 3/4 ton truck instead of a 1-ton truck like the civilian Power Wagon. And not that they ride great, but they ride a little nicer. Excuse me. It was a cool truck. Really liked it. Mr. F also says, every time I drive it, it takes 2 years off my life, but it's probably worth it. I'm going to have to agree, and I've had a good few cars like that. I probably still do, actually. My sister says, I've bashed my shins on that engine about 6,000 times. Sorry. Griffin Lloyd says, best 727 pan gasket. Have an aftermarket pan, but it won't stop leaking. Fun. The best 727 pan gasket is silicone. Okay, but if you have a good pan that's flat, go to the Chrysler dealer or online. You can get them online. There is a plastic with rubber O-ring gasket for the 4.6RE, 4.7RE. That's the updated torque flight with 727 family, bigger torque flights with overdrive from the 90s. They started using them in, I don't know if it's like 96. It's something like that. They refreshed a lot of things between 96 and 8. But somewhere in there. Yes, they have those. And last I checked, they were 30, $35. And that works usually. But I have had one that for whatever reason, I don't know if the pan was tweaked. Also, for whatever reason, they're a double O-ring, but it only lined up with the inner O-ring on the pan, and it didn't work for me. Usually it has. I've used a lot of them. But cat hair. I did that on the Crew Cab Dodge. A video for which is forthcoming, by the way, when I restored it, and it didn't work. So I went to cork gasket and silicone, and it's been okay so far. My sister says that show I referenced was sold out. Pretty sure it was around 1,200. Yep, there you go. And we drink 2 ciders for 200. All right, fine. My mom says, oh, I think you were talking about mishaps with parts. I was a little more concerned about damage to the human material. Well, obviously, we discussed that before. I once allegedly dropped an engine on my brother's hand while we were trying to put headers on his 273 Duster. Good times. Bob says, challenge accepted. My sister says, I promise not to puke in Jamie's yard again, but we all know that's total BS. Lovejoy says, by the way, I don't think I ever thanked you for your advice on the Brat video. It's now my highest viewed video ever at 5,600 views, and it didn't take off until I added the thumbnail, like you said. Cool. I'm telling you, it really does make a big difference. And if I can help you with your channel, with what you've got going on, I'm going to do that. Someday, DD Speed Shop made a good guide, and that is one of the things that got me started. And it's one of the things that helped me understand and really influenced my style. Not that my videos are anything like his, because they are not. There are some things about what he does that I don't like, but he gave me a lot of helpful information. And if I can do that and help you and other people who are starting with their channels, I will. And I've done it a lot, frankly. Just ask Donnie. I'm always giving him advice he didn't ask for. But professional thumbnails are huge. They just make the videos look so much more appealing. That and careful consideration to video names. My video titles always look professional. Every word's capitalized. The English is Englished correctly, that sort of thing. It helps. It really does help. So, yeah, glad it worked for you. It's just something to be aware of. I haven't been wearing hats for a while after my haircut. I had to get some mileage out of the Savannah Banana hat, though. And now I'm getting that sweaty scalp thing again. It was gone. Anyway, Dan Berg says, speaking of rust, what you going to do with the Volare? Well, I still don't know, but I'm going to do something. And I was looking at a picture this morning of the Power Wagon, and the Volare was in the background. And I went, I've got a set of 14-inch slot mags and decent tires I could put on it right now. And I've got a Roadrunner spoiler. And I've got 2 spare cylinder heads. And it wouldn't be a big deal to put a head on a Slant 6. I should do something with it. And also, I got that little Hot Wheels from Walt. So now I'm thinking something needs to happen. It's still here, so something needs to happen. Rafael Ramirez says, do you have any smog equipment you're willing to let go of? I don't have any smog equipment, no. I just knocked over a suitcase under my, what's this called? Desk. Spitfire Mike says the 80s Police 318 had the windage setup. Yes, I know the Police 360 of the late 70s also had that, so that makes sense. I think I've read that. They also use 360 heads and a 4-barrel, right? HDF2 is here with us again and says, what up, DDG? Looks like you're collecting viewers. Awesomeness. Oh, hell yeah. As I like to say, it's all happening. It's getting pretty good around here. We've maintained right around 100 viewers for the last hour, so that's cool. That's new and exciting. So thanks again to everybody that's here. Oh, Dan Tupper says using 318 poly flat tops might help. Gets a 0 deck on the 318 LA. Old roundy round racing trick. Cool. In reality, Magnum heads on your 318 would be a better choice. Get them redrilled to the LA intake pattern by a good machine shop. Yep. Then you need oil through lifters, the correct length push rods, and you're in it. Great way to go. Great ports, closed chamber, no heat crossover. There's nothing there not to like, except the Chevy style rockers. Mopar Benny says, loved the 34 Plymouth video. I have a 33 Chrysler in almost the same shape. Nice. I was really jealous on that car. I wish I had had the opportunity to buy it. But by the time I saw it, it had already been sold. That was such a sweet machine. I'd love to have something like that someday. I've never, other than that car, I've really never explored the 30s with Chrysler products. I've had a 51 Plymouth. I've had 55 Plymouths and Chryslers. I've had older trucks. I've had a couple 46s, but yeah, I haven't really had any cars that old, and I'd like to. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good video. That's I think it's my second most viewed video of all time. I'd check, but my daughter stole my phone. Very cool. Bell James says, my first car was a 56 Dodge Custom Royal Lancer D500. Oh, cool. Still have a set of the 500 flags. 315-inch, 260 horsepower, underrated, double rocker engine, which is what they called that. It wasn't a Hemi. It was the double rocker shaft engine. At 15, I was so unworthy. Yeah, the D500 is a legend. That was, if you guys don't know those cars, and I don't know them amazingly well, but I know the D500 was the sporty one. That was your horsepower option in that time frame with Dodge. Rafael Ramirez also said, hello, DDG. You should do a video on restoring Mopar AC. That would be really helpful. I'm going to be honest. Until very recently, I knew dick all about AC systems. I've now had to piece two of them together, so I'm gaining a bit of a knowledge base on that. I'm not an expert. Uncle Tony did an AC video, a more generalized classic AC guide, and it wasn't on restoring the systems, replacing the components. It was just more on what they are, what they do, how they work. And that was just a week or two ago. So you might check that out. When I feel qualified to do that, I will. I try not to do videos on subjects that I'm not super well familiar with. I'm trying to share knowledge I have. There are things that I'm learning all the time. It's kind of my whole thing, learning stuff. But at this juncture, I don't know enough to do that. I will someday. Ken Taylor says, outside of my 67 Barracuda, my dream Mopar is a Wing Warrior. My research says all original winged Mopars, the nose was formed sheet metal, not fiberglass, and they were fabricated at Richard Petty's. They were fabricated at, is it Creative Specialties? Was that his company? Hold on. Let's ask the internet. I might have to word that. Quick history. Who built the nose cones? That's the 500. That's engines. Sheet metal nose cones. Daytona's is more pointed, features a horizontal mesh grille. Yeah. I learned after I made a video about these that the thing about the wing being high enough for the trunk to open is wrong. Dang it. They're not giving details on the nose cone. Nobody's got time for that. But anyway, I believe it was a company called Creative Specialties or something. Wing nose cone. Yeah. Google agrees. But was Petty involved? That's the real question. They're still not telling me. Nobody's got time for that. Anyway. Creative Industries of Detroit. Creative Industries. Creative Industries was the name of the company. If no one's corrected me yet, I'm not seeing the name Petty anywhere here. Okay. Yeah, they're very cool. I know I showed that when I said there would be signs. I've never actually wanted a wing car. I wanted to build one. And I was going to call it the Dirty Bird, and I was going to build it out of a really crappy Plymouth B-body that was local to me for a really long time. I think it's finally gone. All Classics Restoration says, best thing I ever did was install a lift in my shop. I held off for many years thinking it would be in my way. I was kind of scared of him. I didn't really trust him. My brother and I ran a business for 7 years with 0 lifts. As soon as my business closed, I got lifts. Couldn't be happier. Should have done it a really long time ago. We always meant to. It just never worked out. And the design of that shop was, if we'd put a lift in any bay, it would have taken out an inside spot for a car. And we were already short on inside spots for cars. So it just never worked that way. But having the lift and having the ability to get the cars in and out faster, and not having the inside space, so not being able to take big crazy projects that had to sit around forever, that would have been a great way to go. Unfortunately, I'm not smart. Ken Taylor says as well, I had a crazy dream to turn my A-body Barracuda into a winged Barracuda, calling it a Super Cuda. Similar things have been done. Wing car of a new Challenger, the early 70s, the What If 71 wing cars. It's not my thing. Interesting idea. I had some crazy ideas for a 67 Barracuda fastback myself, and the crazy idea was mid-engine, 2-seater mid-engine. I thought that would be super cool. It would be like Hemi under glass. That wasn't even necessarily the inspiration for that idea. I just wanted to build something like that, and I thought the Barracuda would be perfect for it. It's already got all that open space. But yeah, obviously that never happened. Probably never will, unless I end up a YouTube millionaire. But I don't know. Interesting, but not my thing, slapping a wing on every car. Banana says, I remember doing random street races when I was younger. I didn't win mostly, but it was fun. And that's what it's all about. Fun. I remember on the last day of school before I graduated. That was intentional, by the way. Did I graduate? Me and one of my friends had a drag race. We did it right in the school parking lot. Good times. My mom says it's the water and a lot more. Banana says, one time me and my friends put a 428 big block in my mom's 75 Ford Fairmont. 79. She wasn't happy. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know anything about the beer strike of the mid-80s. That's very interesting. Bell James says, yes, this is very true. And if I do get to daily drive this car, I am going to want the AC to work. Bell James says the 300 would be a good candidate for the AC, for an AC resto video, and it absolutely would. Again, I'm hoping. I still need to collect brake parts. Just found out Tom's got calipers in the back room. That makes things easier. But yeah, need to get the brake stuff done. Need to fix that window. Maybe vacuum the interior would be a nice thought. And then fuel system. I've got a tab open on my phone for a gas tank. I need to verify it's right and then become less poor. And then we'll get a new gas tank. But yeah, AC will be next on the list. Tires. My point is it's on the list. William Helms is with us and says, cool 71 Fury. My mom's Fury 3 was almost just like it. Base model except for the 360, AM radio, and air conditioning. Very cool. Luis Santiago says, love your show. What's your opinion on QA1, lower and upper control arms? QA1 makes nice stuff. My opinion is unless you're doing extreme handling, you don't really need to do all that. I have a video called, it's the one Uncle Tony noticed. Budget Mopars are great. Here's why you don't need to spend a bunch of money on your classic A-body or something like that. And in that video, I kind of say buying those expensive parts, you don't really need to do that. I mean, you can get a very similar amount of performance out of reinforcing the lower arms, adding a good heavy sway bar, offset upper bushings. Poly lower bushings are a nice touch too. Humongous sway bar is key. You do those things and it's going to go around corners, and you didn't have to spend many, many hundreds on those QA1 parts. Again, they're nice. They're great stuff. And if it's in your budget, cool. But in my eyes, it is not necessary. I like sticking close to stock. I just don't think we need to do all that stuff. I got just a few minutes left here. We've still got almost 90 people in the live stream, which is definitely a record for approaching 2 hours. This is awesome. This is just great. You guys you're almost as good as the Beatles. You're just awesome. Damn it, I said that wrong. It's, oh, the Beatles. I love you guys. You're great. See you, Lovejoy. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week. Oh, yeah, the Beatles. You guys are great. You're almost as good as the Monkees. You're just awesome. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, thanks for being here. If you have any last-minute questions, you better sneak them in now. We got just a few minutes left, and I'll try to think of another song to play on the noisiest guitar rig in the universe. All Classics Restoration says, no, Petty Racing wasn't involved in that development. Remember, the Daytona came first. Indeed, he didn't race strictly Plymouth then. Although apparently he did, you know. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I didn't think so. My sister says, I thought there was a lift in the far back bay at one point. Yes, there was a lift back there in pieces. We never set it up. It's one of the ones in my shop now. Mopar Benny says, in GTA 5, I made a replica of Uncle Tony's bottle rocket, nerd level 99. That's awesome. My friend Jordan has a 72 satellite sedan. As soon as I saw bottle rocket, I was like, because they're damn near the same car. Nose is different. You know, the Dodge has the wraparound thing. Does it? Doesn't it? Something's different. Yeah, it's got to have the wraparound bumper, right? Damn it. Hold on. Yeah. Uncle Tony bottle rocket. Oh, come on. Typing's hard. Images. Yeah. Coronet, wraparound bumper. But again, they're damn near the same car. Much like the A-bodies, some guy just did a video about that. You'll see it soon. But anyway, that's cool. Banana says, well, I got to go. Have a good week. And I tip my hat from 168 Charger owner to another. Peace. Have a good week, Banana. We'll catch you later. Just Ralph, a Jersey guy stuck in PA, says an A-body, 68 CUDA with a huge wing, was used in the Robert Blake 72 movie Corky. Interesting. I didn't know that. JMR says, great chat night. You're awesome. Thank you very much, JMR. I appreciate you being here with us all the time. It's awesome. Dan in Alaska says, hi from Alaska. Just want to say that I'm enjoying the channel, even though I'm a Ford guy. That's a dirty word. All right. I got a couple Fords in the display. A couple. I'm rather proud of. No, it's not in here anymore. It's out in my display case in the shop. I have a little Cobra that my grandma gave me, which is cool. I owned a Cobra replica for a while, and I liked it. But I sold it and bought a Charger, and I couldn't be happier. So anyway, we don't appreciate your kind around here. Thanks for joining us, Dan. Appreciate that. Keep up the great work. God damn it, I'll try. Rick Murphy says I'm better than the Beatles. I think there are a lot of people that are going to disagree with that. That's not right. Anyway, Paul McCartney, the leader of the Beatles. That's all I know of Winona's Big Brown Beaver. I think it's actually in D, but nope, I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. Amy Harville says, good night, Jamie. Time for me to join the passed out Big Wrench Donnie. I'll be damned. He actually fell asleep at a reasonable time. Have a good night, Amy. Thanks for joining us. Very cool. Cave Dave says, just lurking, but still wanted to say hey. Hey. Dan in Alaska says, nice. I'm redoing a 68 Galaxy Fastback. Cool. I tried pretty hard once to own a 64 Galaxy 500 Victoria or whatever the heck it was called. Really cool car. Yes, Kelly Smith. Who name I recognize from a lot of comments recently. So thanks for that. Yes, that's a Primus tune. I always play. Oh, it's way better on the bass. I'm going to get this wrong. No, I got it. Nope. I should probably learn the words for Southbound Pachyderm someday. Rick says, see, I told you. But I don't know what he told us. Just Ralph, a Jersey guy stuck in PA, says, love your channel, Jamie, and these lives are growing on me. Thanks, Ralph. They grew on me pretty much from the jump. It's really good fun. I just love seeing people here every week. It means the world to me. Just the fact that people care enough to, involve themselves in the channel to that level. It's really awesome. So thank you for being here. I really do appreciate that. Bob says, stop with the Southbound Pachyderms. All right, I'm going to do this. Oh, come on. Yeah. Let's see if I have not plugged this bass into anything yet. Well, let's see if it likes distortion. I think that makes it stop. Let's see. Here we go. Night, pal James. Yeah, it's late there. A little different. Thanks for being here with us again. I appreciate that. Dan says, I'd like a Dodge, but they seem to be like unobtainium up here. Yes, that seems to be a problem in many parts, but not my parts. And lucky me. Okay, we've got one pickup that works. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, I did that wrong too. Ooh, quite a surprise. What an ingenious device. Boredom encompasses my time. I don't know what I should do. Indulge a moment of your time. Settle down the reader of your lies. You won't believe that it's true. Ooh. Take to the skies. Southbound Pachyderm. Southbound Pachyderm. Southbound Pachyderm. Something like that. I don't actually know the words, so I apologize for getting them wrong. That's what we got. Last few comments, and I'll get out of here. Joel Shooter says, hey, Jamie, finally got here after missing the show for months. Isn't the Magnum Force setup better than QA1, just for the fact that it's only Mopar-made stuff? The key is drop D. Yeah, I know. I couldn't be bothered. I don't know. I don't know anything about Magnum Force. I'm at least somewhat familiar with QA1. I've dealt with their stuff some. So I can't answer that. Jaybird's lurking in the chat. Have a good week, fella. Thank you, Jaybird. Appreciate that. Something tells me I'll be working on your coronet sometime in the near future. All Classics Restoration says, I'd appreciate any constructive criticism on my channel content. Thanks in advance. Cool. What you should do, find me on the FaceTubes. Oh, wow. You can you can message the Dead Dodge Garage page. That works. So you can find me personally. Although I have to say, and I don't mean to offend anyone, I've gotten a whole ton of follower, subscriber ad requests lately. And I just look at the list and go, oh God, what have I done? So I might try and limit that in the future to the actual page. Life's getting complicated. Let's just say that. But shoot me a message. I would love to check out your channel. I just don't have a good memory for things. But yeah, I definitely give you my 2 cents, and I promise constructive criticism only. I'm certainly not going to say you suck, stop making videos. It's not who I am as a person. I'd love to help any way I can. I've talked about it a bit, but put your best foot forward. Don't try to be anyone else. Be yourself. Professional appearing thumbnails, titles, channel in general, and consistent posting. And I know this is going to sound crazy, make good videos. And I say that as someone that makes videos all the time that don't necessarily do as well. So anyway, there you go. Kelly Smith says, nice picking, a man of many talents. Yes, master of none. Good night, Dan. Thanks for being here. Dave says, like and share. Do all the things. GMR says, that was Jamie, rock god. I'm not so sure about that. I'm kind of a dirty hack, but I do my best. And Nick Dirkett says, thanks, Jamie. Good stuff. See you next week. That's the end of the comments. We did it. Still 70 people here at 10 after 8 my time. Can't believe it. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying the wild ride. The videos are getting more and more attention, and the club here is growing, which is awesome. Look forward to me live streaming with Uncle Tony in the near future, apparently. I'll let you know when that's going to be. Cool. All Classics is going to find me on the face tubes, as I like to call it. Very cool. Yay, team. We did it. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.